Hello Raptors fans, and welcome to Raptors Report. Today we're going to be looking at two breakout players for the Raptors this season. The guy who's the odds-on favorite to win the Most Improved Player award, Chris Boucher, and a pleasant surprise at the big man position, Stanley Johnson. The Raptors have looked a bit better over the past 7 games, and these two are a big reason why. Let's dive in and take a look. While I've mentioned Chris Boucher a number of times in videos so far this season, it's really time to take a deeper look at the stats and his on-court play. Game after game, Boucher has been doing many positive things on the court, things that show up in the box score and things that don't. I've mentioned Boucher's newfound willingness to pass up bad shots and his resulting improvement in his three-point percentage, but there's also other nice non-box score stuff going on as well. Jack Armstrong gave Boucher props for a nice screen assist in the game versus the Mavericks, where he not only passed up a shot for a better one, but dished out a nice screen to get Kyle Lowry an open look in the corner for 3. His weak side shot blocking ability is well noted, as he's blocking a ridiculous 3.8 shots per 36 minutes, but his awareness defensively has taken a step forward as well. The Raptors crave rim protection, and while Boucher is still a bit too skinny to be a truly elite rim protector, he changes a ton of shots inside, which is more than can be said for Toronto's other big men. Now that we've gotten some of the non-box score stuff out of the way, we can get into the really exciting stuff. Boucher is easily one of the most productive players in the league, second only to Nikola Jokic in terms of PER, which is basically a boiled down box score stat. Boucher is doing stuff that hasn't been seen since Wilt Chamberlain, posting absurdly efficient scoring nights game after game. He's shooting a scorching 47% from 3 and 60% from the field, good for an eye-popping 72% true shooting percentage. Now, I have some bad news. Kinda. This is probably unsustainable. Boucher is on a hot streak from 3, and he's probably under-scouted, meaning that teams haven't been game planning for him. I expect him to cool down from long range, especially once teams start to pressure him out there. His shot mechanics are a bit slow and weird looking, meaning that if teams don't cheat off of him like they've been doing, they can bother his shot. I expect his shooting to cool off, although I don't think you're going to see him return to his career percentages of 32% from 3, because the quality of his shots has improved dramatically. Even though I expect his shooting to regress, Boucher has always been a productive player in terms of stats. If you look at his per 36 numbers, which is a way of extrapolating a player's production if their minutes were expanded, Boucher has always had a big statistical impact every time he's seen the floor in previous seasons. Now that he's making fewer mental mistakes and the Raptors have been in dire need of a big man, he's been able to see more time and is really starting to show how productive he can be. In other words, even when you see Boucher's insanely hot shooting start to cool off, he's not going to transform into a scrub. He'll still be a great offensive rebounder, he's still going to be able to score around the rim, he'll still be a great shot blocker, and with his improved mental game, he'll be able to work through cold stretches without hurting the team. One of the coolest things about Boucher's emergence this season is that for the first time ever, one of the best Raptors is also a Canadian. Boucher grew up in Montreal, and his rise from poverty and homelessness to become an NBA player is an amazing accomplishment that definitely deserves a lot of praise and admiration. To continue the good vibes, the Toronto Raptors have him under contract next season, having given him a 2-year $14 million contract this past offseason that looks like a genius move from the Raptors front office. It'll be very exciting to watch him in a Raptors jersey for the foreseeable future. Next on the docket, we're going to be looking at the emergence of Stanley Johnson. Stanley Johnson last season received virtually no minutes, and when he saw the floor, he looked lost. He turned the ball over a ton and broke plays regularly. He also drew the ire of Nick Nurse, who called Johnson out for not understanding the Raptors' defensive schemes and being too focused on his offensive role.
Nope. Those guys. Sorry, I don't want to cut you off, but those guys have not understood A, how hard we play, B, our schemes, that defense is a priority for them, etc.
This season, with a new role and seemingly having absorbed the advice of the coaching staff, Johnson has looked surprisingly solid in limited minutes and filled a gap in the Raptors rotation at the big position. First, let's talk role. The Raptors this season have been searching for anyone who can serviceably fill time at the big position, and after a lot of fruitless Aaron Baines and Alex Len minutes, Johnson has emerged as a non-traditional big that can contribute what the Raptors are looking for at both ends. While it's not something anyone could have predicted going into the season, it actually makes a lot of sense. Stanley Johnson, for all his warts, has always been an impactful defender. He's physically very strong, weighs almost 250 pounds, and has fast feet and quick reflexes. His flaws, notably his issues handling the ball, his penchant for throwing weird passes, and his decision-making in general, are less emphasized when he's playing as a big, because he doesn't have as many ball-handling responsibilities. His new role on offense is to spread the floor, move the ball without dribbling, set screens, and occasionally make cuts to the basket. As a result, his turnovers per 36 minutes have halved, and he's shooting a career-best 43% from 3, which I'm not sure is sustainable, but for the time being is keeping the defense honest. If you were to ask me, I think that Len being waived has a lot to do with Stanley's recent play at the big position. As for defense, the Raptors utilize a help-heavy system, where players switch coverages, double team, and use speed to recover on shooters. Stanley, if he continues his strong play, can thrive in this system, as he's strong enough to help out under the basket and has quick enough feet to switch onto perimeter players, as he showed with his excellent defense on Luka Doncic Tuesday night. Stanley currently leads the team in defensive rating at 103.1. All of this is small sample size theater, but Stanley has played 162 minutes so far this season, which already eclipses the number of minutes he's played last season in total, which was 150. Can it continue? I'm not sure, but I'll be interested to see. And that's this week's installment of Raptors Report. Are you excited about Boucher and Johnson? Skeptical? Let me know in the comments. Also, please like and subscribe if you enjoyed this content. It really helps the channel grow. And remember to follow me on Twitter at Raps Report. And as always, thanks for tuning into Raptors Report, your source for in-depth Raptors content.